Hello there, silly gamers. It's me, Video Essay Thomas, back here for some more tepid video broth for you to sip on. Now, World of Warcraft is a game I never wanted to play initially, but I found myself playing more than most games ever since the 2004 version was available to play. Yes, it's no secret, I enjoy Classic. I was playing a load, me and my friends were, until eventually it was just me sat in Shazra EU, Booty Bay, fishing by myself every Sunday. I had a thought: I don't raid, I don't want to join a guild, I'm not interested in Nax. Why didn't I play retail? That looks quite interesting, and Shadowlands is about to drop. See, when you go from Classic, where there are 4 flight points every 30 miles, to retail, where you can skirt around like a Migos adlib, it can be a little bit jarring. I am the god of Azeroth in retail, whereas I am a sentient NPC in Classic, albeit one with the power to farm an entire family worth of melee mobs. The point I'm trying to make is, Classic and Retail are two very different games. One that someone like me, a lowly Guild Wars 2 YouTuber, doesn't really have grounds to criticise. I like how one plays, and I like the other for how flashy and fancy and new it is. I like the pretty looking run fast. Anyway, Shadowlands. Sylvanas Windrunner is an elf bitch that this one NPC from Warcraft 3 turned into a dead bitch after deciding the new Lich King, a fella from Stormwind called Bolvar, is an alliance bitch. She decided to counteract this, she would commit mass genocide of the elves of Teldrassil, and steal Mr. Fourdragon's helmet, which controls all of the undead of the world. Sylvanas, however, didn't really care, because she kinda knew that was going to happen, and she was escaping off into the Death Realm with some of our favourite characters, like Thrall and Jaina. From here, we follow the Banshee Queen in through the dead places. We go to Bastion, kinda Greek, Maldraxxus, kinda dead, Ardenweald, kinda pretty, and Revendreth, kinda edgy. Battle in the Moor to save some of your favourite characters,
like Thrall and Jaina.
Except, not really, because they're saved in the first 5 minutes, but then they were stolen in the next 5. In the Shadowlands, you'll encounter dead, alive, heroes and villains of the past, ready to bring Sylvanas to justice, all while helping all the souls in the Shadowlands TM. Anyway, the game came out and I was enjoying it. But everyone around me in Oribos had wacky run fast, and I only had puny bronze dragon, controller of time. From that one time Arthur's killed a bunch of innocent humans who just wanted to enjoy some bread. The other one I had was a high drop rate mob from the Obsidian Sanctum with a purple bell end. I'm sure Niall would like him to fart on his head. So I needed more. I needed something with some buzz to it. Anyway. There was an expansion for WoW that came out 3 years before Shadowlands that had mixed opinions. Though I thought the zone design of Kul Tiras was sick, specifically the Stormsong Valley. In this area there is a meadery with this little shit Ansel Mildenhall, Ansel's dad, and his pisshead mate. In this area you get a fun little quest to help Ansel's pops get control of his business. Personally, I prefer to go to Sam Makes Mead for my mead and mead education. But this old blighter seemed to know exactly what he wanted. To get his basement, and the honey-infused grogula we all know and love, back up and running. Now, to help the Meadenhalls, I was tasked with a very simple objective. I decided the easiest thing to do would be to listen to the old pisshead, and I killed every single bit of honey on his farm. I then came downstairs into his beloved basement and meadery, and what I saw horrified me. There stood before me a growing, grotesque gruel of grunny, and the grunny in front of me grew alive, and I decided it's time to ground pound this piece of shit. Now, rumour tells me after this point I am able to kill bees, many of them, and miraculously Ansel's mother's necklace will fall off their dead body eventually. Took me 200. I could then meet Ansel's whore mother, hearing that she was only away from home and her distraught family to get some dick from some artsy mages from London or something. I tracked her down in the fine city of Boralis, and she gave me a note in exchange for her necklace, one destined for Ansel and her husband. So my quest was clear. I needed to deliver this lazy bitch's note to her son for her. Anyway. The real point of today's video is bees. Jerry Seinfeld, fuzzy booties and honey. The fun insect critters I've always been fond of. They're cute, and they could be fuckers like wasps, but they aren't. They're chill and fluffy and they're like flowers and they make sweet scran. That's good work. So that little shit Ansel, yeah? Well, you can feed Ansel's little pet bee every single day to make him strong. Remember that. You do this for a week after you've already helped his whole family's business get back off the ground. His bee requires 7 honey source from the honey that's ravaging their poor meadery. My next 7 days will wake up, kill the honey puff monster a dozen times until I get 7 source, and then play the game. However, after the fruits of my labour, I was allowed the bee pet. Bumbles was his name, but I instantly renamed him to Beehead. I woke up for 7 days to meet. Finally, when he came into the world, our friendship was cemented. My friend, Beehead. Well, now we've made it this far. This is the story of the Honeyback Harvester mount. The Honeyback Harvester was added in patch 8.2.5.319.21. The first of its kind, a bee mount. It came out with a lot of buzz, stinging Alliance community's hearts. Sorry, last one. See, to get this funny honey no money mount, one must show a boy called Barry your brand new bee and banter until he bemuses you with the boundaries of a new beehive in Stormsong Valley. This allows you to meet the Queen of the Hive. From here, our quest is laid out before us. Feed the Queen's kid Jelly until he is big and strong. Remember? Jelly can be found throughout the stormy lands of Stormsong. Pretty much simp the Queen with jelly bucks. Attention all epic whale raiders. Honeyback Hive Mother needs your help. All she needs you to do is remove over a day of your life that you could have spent with a loved one. But you gotta be quick. Horde no bee scum will come and zug all of our precious honey unless you act now. So, I saw a fella online. He found a gold farming method, picking up these jellies. Now, I wasn't going to buy any of them. That's not the true spirit of the grind. I needed to pick each individual one up off the ground, and I don't have flying just to make it extra fun on myself. So, I saw the route. I will depict to you what I was doing for the first 28 hours of this bewildering task. I'll show you through the medium of MS Paint. So I ate a load of honey, did a circle. Ooh, I'm getting sleepy after all the honey. I think I'll take a quick honey nap. Ooh. The mist, wind and rain in the air was fitting of such a place. Stormsong Valley. The howling gusts were making their way down the hillside, through the lowlands, directly into my ears. The sun was setting beautifully on the horizon. I saw a glimmer of beach, a sparkle on the sea. Pretty place. Shit people, I thought to myself. It's my pleasure to walk through these paths day in, day out. I remember being excited to leave the garrison and travel with a new companion, with a new friend. I worked hard to raise this guy from a grub. I'd usually be elated to spend a day with Beehead, doing a quest. This quest, however, was no fun for either of us. I picked the 100th jelly of the day, hoping I could just have one more glass of grog. The Mildenhalls were good to me when I was caring for Beehead, but their mead was better than their hospitality. No bother, I thought, and I kept my route and eyes fixed for the yellow stuff. Purpolymus. What a stupid name for a beautiful creature, I chuckled to myself. A good gift, mind you. Thanks to that nasty business in the Firelands, I can use his agility on this mission. Round and round we went. He never got dizzy, so I gotta give him that. Fuck it, I'm turning in for the night. I dreamt a strange, horrible dream. I was a 22-year-old man with long hair, sat in his bedroom making shitty videos on a magical box with a glowing typewriter attached. Weird. I woke up knowing what I had to do. The quest didn't stop at my dream. My trusty companions and I, Papolymus and Behead, managed through fire and frost, rain and wind, lots of mead and free time, to ride through the ancient Stormsong hamlets, through the briny flats, to the winding paths until I found the tallest hills, and then back to the ancient hamlet and through the briny flats and the winding paths and the tall hills and the hamlet and the flats and the path and the hills and about 2,200 pieces of honey later, I was a changed gnome. I thought about what I'd done. My friends, somewhere in the moor. Me, stuck in Stormsong, listening to these funny people with their Bristolian accents. I thought, why? Why must Behead nor Papolymus? Why must they endure this pain too? I had a glass of mead and I thought over what I was doing with my life. Papolymus is getting old now. Behead can go on for miles and miles, but my fiery dragon pal is... well, he's getting outdated. Poor guy. I gave him a hug. He somehow knew what it meant. We can do this, not as one gnome, one bee, or a chained up purple fire dragon. No, we're together. We were pushing through, picking up as much honey as humanly possible, as much as my bags could fit. We had it all done. I had, for the last days of my life, picked up enough honey until there was only 100, 50, 25, 10. Before I knew it, we were ready to finish the quest we set out for. Time to see an old friend, I thought, thinking of Barry, that crazy son of a bitch. I thought the Queen and I felt a bit nervous. I'd given her honey 1,000 times as her son was coming of age, but today it just seemed different. I knew her mother was about to lose her son. I knew we were about to gain a friend. I knew Papolymus was tiring and ready to rest. With a teary eye, I went to the farm I started this whole damn journey on. With the kick of the beige, dusty mud beneath my now worn shoes, I was off. Papolymus ran with the most striking and elegant purple fire I had seen from his soft feathers. It danced against the green hills of Stormsong like a harvester with a full cap of pollen. I raced past the familiar landscape of the farm and meadery I called home for that long week. I met that small dark bee I called a friend that felt like a lifetime ago. I saluted the townsfolk and family who got me to where I am now. I had a tipple of mead. Maybe a flagon or two, more than a gnome on my height should have had. I knew it was time. I reminisced on the spot where I first met Barry. I decided I should ride along in style to go meet back with him. Of course, he was the first one to show me the hive. He was the first one to meet Behead. He's been there for me since well I started this damn quest, walking in circles for days and days and days. This was the first taste of the sweetest honey I'd ever sampled, and now I was ready for a harvest of my own. The final part of the ritual was here. I gave the last of my royal jelly to the Queen's child. I had to help nourish him through his childhood. I knelt before Her Highness, her council, and my friend Barry. I spoke to him, the bee man. I was ready for a culmination of my efforts to sprout and leave home. There I saw my new valiant steed leave the hive for the first time. All three of our band of heroes looked upon the sky as this bee left to the world beyond the hive. We had to leave this world. We had to move on to the next. We had to move into the Shadowlands. With my magic brain, I channeled the powers of the arcane to teleport us to the fair city of Oribos. From here I could continue my quest to meet Mr. Beamount. I walked the ethereal and iridescent corridors of the City of Souls with a heavy heart weighing in my chest. I knew I had to say goodbye to an old friend. I walked to the centre of the city, transporting us to the ring of them all. I swallowed hard and thought about where we were. Popolemus. Stupid name for a beautiful creature. He greeted me with a sombre face. He knew what was going to happen. He readied himself for his life beyond. He knew what he'd done in life. He finally cracked a smile. I got on his back and we jumped. Popolemus became part of me as his burden was lifted. He was now just a regular mount again. I felt regret for the life that I had put him through. Though it is the cycle. He is all mounts now. Bees are cool as fuck, boy! Bzz, 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 bzz. Woohoo!